I had the pleasure, actually, when I was doing some fill-in elsewhere today, of speaking to this young lady who's sitting in front of us. So I'll let you guys carry this, and we kind of talked about some different things aside from fighting. So I'll let you guys take this where you want to. But Liz Carmouche is one of the two females who's going to be fighting, making their debut with the UFC in February. She sits down with us. Thanks for sitting down.
No problem.
Appreciate it. I know you've been doing a lot of the media stuff. So, guys, fire away.
Well, first of all, I mean, you mentioned it coming in. One of the two women in the first, female main event in UFC history, but nobody's talking about you. It's the Ronda Rousey fight. I mean, how much does that bother you? You are half of the main event of the first female fight in UFC history, but nobody's saying anything about you. Is that a bother, or is that like, hey, I can go in and win this and shock everybody?
It's exactly the second. Then I can just slide in unnoticed, take it, and then everybody goes, wait, what just happened here? We didn't expect that to happen. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it makes it a lot easier for me.
I've heard people say, well, if Ronda Rousey loses this fight, which is entirely possible, you are a very talented fighter. We've seen it before. All of a sudden, the female division goes away. I mean, have you heard that? And what do you think about that?
I've heard that rumor too. And if that's the case, I don't think that the UFC has invested so much into Ronda and so much into the both of us and building up this division, hyping it up to let it go away so easy. But if that happens, then that just means it wasn't ready yet. And I'm okay with stealing it just for a brief moment.
Liz, can you talk about how this fight actually got made? Because there's a lot of discrepancy out there about, Dana saying they called everybody, nobody wanted this fight. I've heard rumors that you contacted them, rumors they contacted you. What's the truth? How did this fight exactly get made?
I don't know a definite answer for that. We were Twitter bombing them like crazy. I mean, we were having the Lisbo fans bombard them every single day, nonstop, in and out, Facebook, you name it. We were bugging Dana White on a daily basis, asking for this fight, making sure that everybody retweeted and bothered him about it. So I think social media played a big role. I mean, we didn't give him a direct call and be like, hey, can I have this fight? Can I have this fight? Hey, can I get the UFC? Mm-hmm. No, I thought it was going to be Cyborg. And then we got the phone call, and without a doubt, I took it. I'm like, yeah, no hesitation. This is what we've been asking for. I'm not going to pass up the opportunity.
Are you surprised that so many other women fighters passed up the opportunity, given the historic nature of the event, the opportunity to go right into a title shot in the UFC?
I am. But then again, this is how we've always done it. I've trained, and until Zuffa took over, I was used to having fights on 2 weeks to 7 days notice, and that was the norm for me. So to me, it doesn't make any sense that you would turn down a fight. They give you the opportunity, you take it and just run with it, just like I did with the Conan fight. So it doesn't make any sense to my mind, and it's history. Why would you turn this down? This is the greatest opportunity that women are ever going to have in MMA. Why would you turn this opportunity down?
By the way, are you guys really going to let that pass? The Lisbo fans? That is awesome.
It's good.
Can't imagine how you came up with that one.
No idea.
Did you come up with it?
No. You know what? In all honesty, I am not the brains of the operation. The brains of the operation is Manolo Hernandez, my coach. He's the goofball. He's the one that comes up with Lisbos. He's the one that comes up with the fight names. He's the one that told us to Twitter bomb Dana White and make sure that we got into the UFC.
Fair enough. So you are doing some media. Like I've seen, your name coming up a little more than Steve admitted, right? I mean, it's not. It's about Ronda, but you've definitely been put out there, and you are the first openly gay fighter in the UFC. When you're doing the media, are people focusing more on the fact that you're in the first female fight, or on your sexuality, or is it kind of a mix?
It's definitely kind of a mix. There is some focus. I did an interview today that was mainly focused solely on that.
That was with me, actually, this morning. But that was also...
I don't know how that happened.
No, but that was the topic during the hour, because I was talking to a general sports audience, so I figured, hey, let's not bombard them with UFC if they don't understand what it is. To me, that is the bigger issue here. Then the female fighting thing is a big deal, too. And I told you at the end of the interview, we'll probably talk to you again. We'll cover it then. But I thought today was an important day to really bring to light the fact that that is a significant moment. And I tied it into the fact that I don't think a male fighter is going to come out voluntarily anytime soon.
Yeah, that was my next question. Like, how have you been treated, and do you think a male fighter would be treated the same way?
I just had to give him a hard time about that. Yeah. I've honestly, I said earlier, I've been treated with open arms. I mean, I'm sure that there's sponsorship opportunities I've missed out on, or training partners that weren't willing to come out, but I'm just blind to it. Like a lot of other things, I'm really naive when it comes to that. So I'm sure it's happened, but I haven't seen it directly at all. And as far as the male equivalent, I don't think it would happen. I mentioned earlier that for women, it's attractive. Guys always kind of picture themselves involved with the women, and so for them, they can dramatize it and make it something, make it a whole fantasy. Or with guys, they're not going to picture themselves between two guys, so it's not accepted because it's not found to be attractive. I think once you can look at men and see that it's still an attractive act, then we'll make progress. But right now, we're not there.
I mean, along those lines, that it's going to be talked about and marketed going up to the fight. Hey, it's two attractive women, and whatever it's going to be. There's going to be a general audience that's not in MMA necessarily that tunes into it anyway. And does it bother you? Is that just, hey, more people paying for the fight? Good for me.
I'm split. There's a part of me that goes, oh, that's just morally, that's not right. But the other part goes, you know what? In all honesty, if it brings other people that want to tune in for MMA into it, more people to support the UFC, then it's okay, because maybe eventually down the road, we'll change those minds and they'll become true MMA, true UFC fans. So it just might take some time, so it'll be worth it in the end.
We saw yesterday, I think we're going to get into this later in the show with Kane, but the question after question, a lot of times with Kane leading up to fights, is about his heritage and about his tattoo and that sort of thing. And so you're probably going to get these same questions that you said you already did with the troublemaker, Steve Cofield, over here earlier. But you're going to get these questions. Do you think it's going to get to a point where it's like, all right, enough, I get it, I'm a gay fighter. That's how it is.
Maybe, but I mean, it's the same thing with almost everybody I talk to asks how I got into MMA. And, I have to answer that over and over again. I mean, 100 times since I really got noticed. So with that, I get the repeat questions. So if anything, it gives me more of an opportunity to take perspective and step back and really find what their answers are, rather than just keep going on repeat. So I don't think I'll get tired of it.
And I guess you're in a unique position because on the positive, you get to be an example for others, right? I mean, is there a part of that you embrace and a part of that excites you, or do you? Because some athletes, when they're a first, they go, yeah, I don't care. I'm just doing my thing, and if I'm a first, I'm a first. But in your case, do you feel that way, or do you feel like, hey, this is a platform, an opportunity for me?
Yeah, I'm certainly embracing it as being a historic opportunity. I would love to be a role model for young women or young kids that are starting up. I mean, I teach kids now as a role model, and they look up to me. So I do embrace that, but a part of me, I'm just ready to do my thing and not really make it a focal point of who I am, but I embrace it as well.
Have you had much interaction with Ronda yet?
Twitter. We talk on Twitter all the time.
Talk, argue, friendly? How is it right now?
It's completely friendly. Yeah, no argument, conversations. Yeah.
Atkinson and Watkins MMA Insider Show here on ESPN 1100, 98.9 FM. Liz Carmouche joining us February 27th, first ever female fight in the UFC. It's the main event, UFC 157, against Ronda Rousey. And we haven't talked too much about Ronda except your interaction with her. How do you beat Ronda Rousey?
Don't get armbarred. I mean,
that's step one.
Sounds easy.
That's going. I've been saying, wouldn't it be great if I'm the one who goes out there and decides to pull a little trick out of my sleeve and judo throw her an armbar? What would happen? Would she expect that? I'm sure she'd never expect that from me. But really, I've played out every possible scenario, and we've worked on it in practice, and I see it going anyway.
I know a lot of people that aren't fighters look at her and say, this is amazing what she's doing. It's got to be intimidating to step in. Is there an intimidation factor from what you've seen from her?
No, not at all. I mean, there's a level of respect, certainly. She was an Olympic athlete, whether it's bronze, gold, silver, it doesn't matter. She's an Olympic athlete, and I respect her for that. But that's where it ends. When I step into the cage, that's all gone away. There's no intimidation. I'm just there to do my thing and implement my plan.
How much does your training change when you're training for someone who is so exceptional at one thing and we haven't seen much else? I mean, do you spend a tremendous amount of time on the armbar defense and not so much on the striking, because do you treat the camp the same way?
I have to treat the camp the same way. The only difference being is for most people, when they get the phone calls when they start training for the fight, the moment she took that belt, that's when we started training. So we've had a lot more preparation, and every time she won a fight, that was more knowledge for us and more to work off. So when I got the phone call in November, that wasn't when I started. We had already started months before that. That's a big difference. But no, if I only focus on my armbar defense and only focus on my judo defense, then I'm looking at an opportunity where I could have knocked her out, completely gone. So I can't let those things fall away because that would ruin everything.
Could you just go in with a dislocated arm and then she has nothing to do?
That might be the way to go. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, you easily beat her. She's got one weapon. That's it.
There you go. Dislocate both of them.
Yeah,
Kick her.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Can kick. That's good. I like it. That'll work.
Those takedowns would look a little suspect, wouldn't they?
It would be questionable. It would be certainly questionable. I think it's great. I can't wait for this fight. It's one that I've been looking forward to since it was announced. I was like, let's get to 157. This is a good card too. Whatever, 155. Who cares? But I honestly can't wait. I definitely look forward to it. Should be a good one. So camp's underway and everything. You're ready to go and a couple months out. But how's it going so far?
So far, it's going great. Everybody's kicking my ass, so that's been nice. And like I said, we've been working on this for months, so everybody's had an opportunity. We already practiced judo. That was already a part of our camp. It's necessary to learn every single art if you want to be a true mixed martial artist. So we've been working on it. It's just now everybody's vicious with it.
There you go.
Larry, before we let Liz go, I think we owe it to the audience to talk about what we talked about last week, which is the main event status. So reiterate what we were saying last week.
Sure.
About being bothered by the main event status. And listen, I think you guys deserve the attention, but I think there are some fans out there who are a little irked that Hendo and Machida aren't getting a 5-round fight. That's not your call, but how are you reacting by hearing some fight fans complain about it? And then even Hendo's camp came out and said, what's going on here?
Yeah, no, honestly, when they said that I had the fight, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I'll be on a co-main event or just another undercard, no big deal. And to find out that we were the main fight of the night, that was a surprise to me too. And I definitely feel like they deserve that right to be in the main card, but I'm going to be honored by the fact that I have that place and then I'm being a part of history, and let that be that.
Final say? You're good?
I'm good.
You were so fired up about it last week.
Was I? Was I that fired up?
Yeah, I think we're both on the. No, I think we're both on the same side.
No, we were in agreement that, given that there hasn't been a fight, given that Ronda was awarded the belt and she's technically defending a title in her first fight in the octagon, that we thought a co-main slot would have been appropriate. We understand Dana's reasoning that if it's a title fight, it's a main event and there's no other title fight on the card. But it just seemed like with Henderson and Machida and what they've both accomplished, that putting them at the top, plus I think the 5-round aspect of that fight versus a 3-round favors Dan Henderson tremendously, and I think that plays into it. So that was kind of the direction we were going. So
there you go.
That it?
Yep. I just wanted, when we say stuff about fighters in the events, when they sit down with us, we're going to say it to them as well and not, not scurry away. You're a tough guy. That.
Not scurrying away.
I'm not so tough.
I'm not fighting with.
I'm not so
I'm not
tough.
scurrying away.
But I got to I have she's on the other side of the table, just so everyone can get the visual. She's on the other side of the table, and I will scurry up the windows very quickly. You're seated right next to her, so I was hoping you were going to get.
And I have sneakers on, so I can get all 4 of you.
I like it. But Larry would be the first one to get a right cross.
Probably, yeah.
And then Adam's bigger than me, and Adam has a history of blocking me from.
Yeah, it's true, and I also believe that it should be the main event. So there you go.
You do.
I do.
Explain.
Title fight. It's that simple. I mean, that was Dana's logic. He said a title fight is going to be the main event if it's on the card. She's the champion. Ronda's the champion. Even if she, if you don't think she earned it yet, she is the champion of the UFC. It's a title fight. It should be the main event. That's how I believe.
Good deal. All right, Liz. Hey, we appreciate a couple minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. Liz Carmouche is the main event coming up in February. First female fight. Hey, Bobby, back in the studio. We'll take a quick time out. We'll reset it. We'll come back out here to the MGM and get you ready for UFC 155.